Thank you, Bokashu. Thank you, Ryoshin. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see your faces this morning. My name is Mukei, and we have these Dharma names, and what do they mean? In certain situations, they could be code language, but my Dharma name means no hindrance, no boundaries. It's taken from the Heart Sutra. And Roshi, when I took Jukai, would say you're supposed to, after a while, not like your Dharma name and wish for a change. But right now, I think it's just Mukei is just who I need to be. It's just who I need to be. I am a student at the Village Zendo and also one of the co-leaders of our People of Color Sitting Group, and it's nice to see some of the members here this morning. It's been quite a week, right? It's been quite a week with the Rittenhouse verdict and the verdict of the killers of the Arbery trial in Georgia. And if you listen to the news this morning, the world's getting in high alert about this new variant that's come out of South Africa, about where, what's going on and how do we cope. It seems like we're back where we were 2 years ago. And so with all of that, I feel like what I'd like for us to look at together is a case from the Gateless Barrier, Lumicon, case number 32. And the title of it is A Non-Buddhist Questions the Buddha. It reads, a non-Buddhist once asked the world-honored one, I do not ask for words, nor do I ask for no words. The world-honored one remained seated. The non-Buddhist praised him, saying, the great compassion of the world-honored one has dispelled the clouds of my ignorance and enabled me to be enlightened. Making a bow of gratitude, he departed. Ananda then asked Buddha, what realization did the non-Buddhist have that made him praise you like that? The world-honored one replied, he is like a high-mettled horse, which starts at even the shadow of the whip. Interesting thing about this particular koan, it's also recorded in the Blue Cliff record on case number 95. The title of that one is Outsider Questions the Buddha. And in another writing, a heretic questions the Buddha. Now, a heretic in a way is not someone, as most of us know, is someone who questions doctrine, but someone who's opinionated, someone who has their own idea of how they see the world. But my question is, who is this non-Buddhist? We know that he's a male because there's a pronoun that's inserted into the koan towards the end. But could the non-Buddhist be female? Could the non-Buddhist be non-gendered, transgendered, from a different religious tradition, not necessarily Zen, uneducated, professional, someone who's just trying to make ends meet? The non-Buddhist, outside a heretic, seeks an encounter with the Buddha. There's something that this person is seeking, wanting, desiring, seeking relief. At this moment, at this time, quote, I do not ask for words, nor do I ask for no words. What do you think we are in this Zoom call looking for this morning? What are we seeking? What are we desiring? I do not ask for words, nor do I ask for no words. The world-honored one remains seated. I remember when we were in our last in-person retreat at Wisdom House, I remember when we were doing outdoor kinhin, that's walking meditation. And I remember that whenever we would walk, there would be always a car coming towards us, and the car would have the radio blaring loud. And as they would see these group of people dressed in black, the car would slow down, and the volume in the car on the car radio would be turned down. What did they see? What did they experience, other than the obvious? A bunch of people in black robes. When we used to go to meals after sitting zazen, we'd take our orioki bowls and we'd process to the dining room. And I could see that some of the staff would kind of look at each other and kind of cling to hers and kind of wonder, what are they doing? And over a period of time, there was a sense of relief, a certain ease. It wasn't that strict formalness, but a sense of comfort. A group of people walking meditation, a group of people walking, what did they see? Obviously, this non-Buddhist was seeking something from the Buddha. What was it? I was talking with a group of people, especially my Dharma brother, about this case, and he mentioned a man by the name of Daryl Davis, a black jazz musician who was born in Chicago, who, when he was a Boy Scout, he was leading the troop carrying the flag. And out of nowhere, rocks and bottles were being thrown at him, and he couldn't understand why. And the entire troop gathered around and formed a protective shield around him. And he went home and he asked his father, well, what was that all about? And his father didn't give him much of an explanation as to what had happened. Obviously, it was from a group of white spectators, but his father didn't tell him it was racist. There was something about a young black boy carrying an American flag. Something that he always had a question about, even as he got older. He went to Howard University and received a degree in music and went on to study music, playing the piano, and had a history of combining the technique with abandon. He would play in boogie-woogie bands and was the backup for many, many singers, performers. In 1983, Davis was playing in a country western white bar in Frederick, Maryland, when a patron approached him and said it was his first time he had heard a black man play as well as Jerry Lee Lewis. Davis explained that Jerry Lee Lewis learned from the black blues and boogie woogie from piano players from black piano players, and he's a friend of mine. The patron was skeptical, and they got to know each other. And in the course of getting to know each other, he revealed that he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. And over a period of time, they became friends and got to know each other. And Davis said, well, I'd like to meet some of your Klan brothers and sisters. So he did. And in the course of conversations, supposedly, a number of these folks turned in their Klan robes. What did they see? What did they experience that it was a change? I do not ask for words, nor do I ask for no words. The world-honored one remains seated. The koan doesn't tell us how long the non-Buddhist sat with the Buddha. It could have been a miraculous event, which if you read the koan, you kind of get that impression. But it could have been days, it could have been hours, it could have been years. But something shifted that non-Buddhist experienced the compassion of the world-honored one, that the clouds of my ignorance were dispelled and enabled me to be enlightened and enter the way. My ignorance is dispelled. I am enabled to enter the way, to be enlightened. There is no no imposter, no outsider, no heretic. But there is connection, which is enhanced by difference. Yet we have Ananda, the Buddha's main disciple, scratching his head and asking, how is it possible to attain realization? Especially if you're a non-Buddhist. And Ananda is still out there, folks. He just looks a little different. My guess is that Ananda had his own impression of what enlightenment looks like, just like us. And perhaps that's the gate of practice for us. Who determines what enlightenment realization looks like? The Buddha tells us that the shadow of the teachings is right in front of us. That is why we practice. That is why we practice. In a lot of ways, we're imposters, we're heretics. But that's why we practice. We're also enlightened. That's why we practice. So I'd like to end with a short little verse that I got from Zen Mountain Monastery. It reads like this: facing fire and wind in fearlessness, embracing every being in boundless love. Though the snow falls still more, the person of great compassion is more resilient than diamond, is gentler than silk, is after all you.